Okay, Rivals Devlog. Since release, I've been focusing on kicking. I've added in field goals and punts and kickoffs, and it actually turned into a ton of work. So I wanted to show that off a little bit. Start off with kickoffs. Kickoffs were actually the last thing I did in the game. It was built upon all the other parts that came first, starting with the field goals and then punting. Punting actually turned out to be the most difficult part to do because there's just a lot of circumstances in a punt that's different than a field goal or a kickoff. So let's take a look at kickoffs. Off the bat, the AI is going to return, and they basically just run up the gut. It's the same logic for when they have the ball on offense. They don't really do a lot with it, but the kicks work. Possession changes, camera switches over to the opposite angle. That was the brunt of the work on punts and kickoffs, was just getting the game to understand that the team that was on offense is no longer on offense, they're now on defense. And there's a fair amount of scenarios involved on punting that maybe doesn't happen on kickoffs. Kickoffs, the ball's live. On punts, the ball's not live. It can be downed, it can be returned, you can go into the end zone for a touchback. So there's a lot of little edge cases that needed to be solved, and eventually I was able to get those all working in concert, and it plays pretty well now. You can play a full game. You can see the times running now. There's quarters and halftime, and I built a really basic coin toss thing that I don't show in this video, but that all works in the bones of an actual football game exists now, which is nice because you start to get a feel for the pace of the game and how long things take and how long, for instance, I have 5-minute quarters set up, and with the way it works right now, the clock doesn't run off after a play, so you end up having 20 or 30 points scored in the first quarter, which I'll probably have to look into that at some point to make the scores a little bit more realistic. And in general, the pace of this game is a bit too slow. It doesn't feel as tense because it's so easy to get back into things with how slow it's going. Been recording for 3 minutes now, and less than a minute has come off the clock. Obviously I could run it down, but when the AI selects their play, probably knock off 10-15 seconds off the game clock, and that'll make the quarters move a little bit faster, which is what's needed right now. And I cannot get an interception to save my life. The defense hasn't changed since the play test. It's still a random choice whether or not they pick it off or even try to tip the ball. And I think if anything, I made the receivers a little bit more skilled. Whoa, that was awesome. My guy just shot off the screen. Yeah, so one of the things I did after release was I changed the way running worked, and as a result, it broke dives. So when you dive and bump into a player, it does that crazy bounce thing. I'll see if I can recreate it, but yeah, that's why my guy flew off the screen there, which is great. It doesn't really affect the game play too much, but it's something I gotta look at. Cannot get a pick for my life. So maybe the AI will score here, and that'll be good because the AI doesn't. Right now, the AI won't kick an extra point. They always go for 2, which is a bug, something I gotta fix. But 2-point conversions are in now. Let's see if they'll score. So close. 2-point conversions are in now, and that's great. And the whole scoring gamut is in, so there isn't anything. Everything is in the game, which is great. You can really get a feel for that now. Jeez, come on, dude. Get an inch. Probably shouldn't have been 2 first downs in a row, so there's some bug there. But yeah, so hopefully they'll score on this one. There we go. And then we'll go for 2 and get some basic scoring working, which is good. They're gonna run. Stop him. So you can also fail on a 2-point conversion, which is great. And then kick returns, they still need some work. The defense doesn't really stay in layers the way they should. And the timing of that's a little bit clunky, but if you get a block or two downfield, you can spring. But I didn't. One of the things that really is missing from this game right now is the players all use the same. They all have the same ability stats and ratings and stuff, so they all run the same speed and they all have the same passing and catching ability. And so it makes for kind of generic gameplay moments. So things like kick returns, you don't have like that really fast returner who can just break away. And one of the things that people have been asking for is like a boost button, which is something I'm still considering whether or not I want to have it in the game. But definitely some sort of breakaway speed thing is desperately missing, like right here. You know, I should be able to get outside and make a run for it. I did improve the way the defense approaches tackles. They take better pursuit angles. Like for instance, that guy cut me off rather than running directly at me. So you can still get out in front of them and, you know, take off down the field, which is the way the play test worked. But they do a better job of just in general pursuing you and being tough. Let's see if I can get a first down running up the gut here. Get into field goal position. Show that off. That's first. There was a bug in the playtest I realized where it was giving you yardage based off of the animation where you were down on the animation instead of where the ball actually was. So I fixed that. You would run 5 yards and then get tackled and it would say a gain of 1, which wasn't very fun. Let's just get a little bit closer and then I'll kick a field goal. My little screen pass here. I want to get to the 30 just so it's for sure. You go in. Where are we at? 30? All right, let's do it. I'm missing the art, the play art for these two, but this is a field goal and this is a punt. Field goal, so you see the camera angle changes, dips down a little bit so you get a better view of the field and you can kind of aim based off of that. I have this back and forth slider thing that I use for the punt as well, and you want to be as close to the center as possible. The further you are away from the goalpost, the more dead center you need to be on this kick to be accurate. So let's get that. Full power. That's good. I think you can do about 55 yards on a field goal. It should be higher, but there's something weird about the code that's not letting it happen right now that I gotta look into. Right, and this is using some punt logic here, so the ball should be on the 20 as a touchback. See if I can get them to punt. Oh, that's a first. That little shake that he did at the end there, that's a placeholder for celebration animation. So after plays when they get first downs or touchdowns or stop a guy for loss, they get a little moment there to show off. Camera zooms in on them, which I think is cool. I think I'll stop it here. So thanks for watching the video. It's been an interesting challenge getting kicking into the game, but I'm glad it's in there now. And if you haven't played the playtest yet, go check it out. Go check it out on itch and download it. It's free, and would love to hear feedback on it. I've gotten some great feedback on it so far. It's been really helpful to kind of see what's going on. And yeah, if you're into the Discord thing, join the Discord channel. You can hit me on Twitter. Either way, I would love to hear your feedback.